it's letting go of the judgment of ourselves and of being gentle with ourselves and having the same compassion for ourselves that we find so much more easily for others.
This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good morning, Stephanie McCall. Previously, episode 854 of the 12-Minute Converse podcast. It's been just 2 years, 11 months, 19 days, 1 hour, and 30 minutes since we last had that conversation.
It is possible to feel really good, and we have everything we need that's within us. And I look forward to continuing my journey and sharing my story more with all of you.
That was then. This is now. How are you doing today, Stephanie?
I am doing amazingly well. Thank
wonderful.
you.
That's wonderful. Well, the last time we spoke, there were a ton of things going on. What's the update? How has the book that you've written impacted the last 3 years, if you would?
Wow. Yes. So my book was published in May of 17, and it is my gift to the world to help those who are struggling living around alcoholics and addiction. So the message in the bottle, finding hope and peace amidst the chaos of living with an alcoholic. There's so much help out there for the addict and the alcoholic, but not for the family members. What I found, though, and the book has been very well received, I still wasn't happy with my life. And I was trying to build a business. It wasn't resonating. And I realized how stuck that I still felt. And so in January, I sold my house and set out on 8 months of travel around the world.
Oh my. Wow. What caused that? I mean, when was the decision made? And of course, there's so many steps before the house is sold, right? So
Yes.
Was it a decision and you pushed back on it a bit, or did you go all through from decision to action?
No, it was very fluid, and it really brought me into a whole new level of trust because I knew I wanted to leave the East Coast and the energy of that and Wall Street and my old life. I didn't know where I wanted to travel to, though. And it's interesting because last December, I thought I was moving to Sedona, Arizona, and I left empty-handed. And I said, well, maybe I'm just meant to travel. And initially, I knew where I was going, and then I spent a month in Thailand. When I came back from Thailand, though, early April, I just set out on the road and traveled through the West, and quite often didn't know where I was going to be in 2 days. And there was something very freeing about that.
Wow. So we got to journey through the entire North of America, right? And the West is a totally different experience from what exists on the East of the United States specifically. I am fascinated by the fact that you have gone from that corporate individual to what feels like a free spirit. What would you say in looking back from today to then would be the takeaways you've gained from doing what you're doing?
As I was writing blogs, as I was traveling, I used the hashtag the magic of letting go. And we become attached to our stories, the way we think we should be living our life. And a lot of it is based on our perceptions of what we think we should be doing and how we should be doing it. And really, the last year was about tearing down all those structures to really come to the essence of what it is that I'm meant to be doing. And now I'm stepping into it.
My wife was pregnant recently, just about 3 months ago from the time of this recording. And when we visited the gynecologist, she was saying, well, how long would I have to keep this weight on? How long can I go before I exercise? And, the doctor said, hey, 9 months to put on the weight. So it takes about 9 months to take it off. Would you agree that sometimes we approach this process of life, finding who we are, finding our own unique real self, a bit wrongly?
Well, society has brought us to a point of instant gratification. And when I work with clients and when I speak, I say, we didn't get here overnight. unraveling and unwinding this legacy that we've created for ourselves is not going to happen overnight either. Now, I will be turning 58 in a little over a month.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Although I feel like I'm 35. I look at all the things and all the decisions and how I got to this place, and the forgiveness and the self-forgiveness and coming to a place of not being triggered anymore has really been through looking at how I got here. And we can't do that all in one sitting. It would just never happen. I think our brains would explode if we tried to. So I agree with what your wife's doctor said to her. It's letting go of the judgment of ourselves and of being gentle with ourselves and having the same compassion for ourselves that we find so much more easily for others.
Now, has the community around you changed? Has it, in terms of those that are in your circle of influence, now that you're on the road and setting out on journeys?
I have a close core of people who understand me, see what I've done. I've actually just resettled I'm in Provo, Utah now. I've been here for about a month and a half. And the people who didn't understand or just weren't comfortable with my growth have fallen off the radar. And I think that's a natural progression of as we learn and as we grow, we'll see that our friendships evolve just as we do. Because there are some people who are happy, they say misery loves company. And when we're miserable, we'll typically be surrounded by people who are miserable. And when we're happy, it's time to be surrounded by people who are happy.
Then what are the types of events you're having? Are you creating events where other individuals can connect and experience the truth in understanding that they can let go?
I actually am leading a serenity retreat in late January in New Jersey that a friend of mine runs every year and recruited me to present and teach at 5 different workshops through the weekend. And I've just also created a 10-week Thriving Through the Holidays blog series to help people kind of connect with getting through the holidays, not feeling like we need to survive, but that we can actually create healthy boundaries and we can see ourselves and see other people as they are and walk through the holidays. Like the image that comes to me is Sally in the movie When Harry Met Sally, and she's sitting in the diner with Billy Crystal. And the woman across the way says, I'll have what she's having. And wouldn't it be amazing if we could all walk out of our holiday and family gatherings with people saying, wow, I'll have what they're having because they seem like really happy and amazing. So I'm starting to put things back out there and I'm getting ready to write my second book.
Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
When we are on the road, when things aren't as solid as we were accustomed to, the concept of death, I believe, really comes face to face as to understanding that today I could die or tomorrow. Is that a conversation that you've encountered? And if so, how do you deal with that interaction?
I have encountered that. And I think for the folks that are afraid of death, it's of, well, what's going to happen to me? And there's still things that are unresolved. When we come to a place of everything that's happened to me in my life up to today, I am grateful for. I could die right after this conversation because I'd love to complete the conversation. And I would be at peace with where I am. And I also believe that our soul continues. And so that I've been brought onto this earth to do certain things within this lifetime. I can choose to learn my lessons or not because we all have free will. And then what I'm meant to do at some future time is at some future time. But I am completely at peace with where I am. And part of what I'm doing now is helping people heal so that they too can come to that place of peace.
Where can people connect with you? Again, you've gone from a place where the story could have been, I was the wife of an alcoholic and within myself I died. You've gone to a story where you've walked away from that. And now you're creating your own life, not one that's etched in time by a template that you've taken from. Instead, you've actually reclaimed yourself. Where can
I
people
have.
connect with you who are interested in this?
The best place is my website, which is stephaniebmcauliffe.com. And from there, Facebook, LinkedIn, send me a note, schedule to work with me. My blog is there. That is the best place.
This is wonderful. Well, my friend, again, it is a grand opportunity to reconnect and say, hey, Stephanie, how are you doing? And what are you up to? And to hear how you've evolved, it's really, really, really motivational and inspirational. So I do appreciate everything that you're doing, specifically giving service. Yeah, we spoke about that
Yes.
on the podcast, giving yourself of service.
And thank you for reconnecting and being able to have this conversation this morning, because sometimes we don't see the changes day over day. But when we as individuals look at 3 months or 6 months or a year or almost 3 years, it's a beautiful reminder of the steps that we've taken and how beautiful this journey in life really can be.
How beautiful it can be. Again, amazing audience, you're hearing it live from Stephanie B. McAuliffe. You can connect with her at stephaniebmcauliffe.com. Stephanie, my friend, a pleasure I treasure. Before we leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Live your life for you.
Love that. Stephanie, thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. This podcast is produced by Pod Edits. Visit podedits.com for professional podcast publishing.